From the Detroit Free Press, it's Friday, May 21st. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bushes.com/join-our-team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join-our-team.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. By July 1st, things might just look like they're back to normal in Michigan. That's what Governor Gretchen Whitmer hopes, saying the state is on the right path to achieve normalcy as she announced sweeping changes Thursday to the state's COVID-19 health and safety regulations. Speaking at Dow Diamond Baseball Field in Midland, Whitmer said, quote, "We'll be able to sing at church, dance at weddings, cheer at games, hug each other, and laugh together." Starting June 1st, all outdoor capacity restrictions are lifted. That means restrictions on attendance at places like outdoor concert venues and Comerica Park will be nixed. Every indoor venue will have a 50% capacity restriction. That's the same as current restrictions for restaurants, but a potentially substantial increase for places like wedding venues. By July 1st, Whitmer expects the health department will revoke all remaining COVID-19 rules and regulations. The seemingly fast and furious changes were prompted by updated mask guidance issued last week by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC said anyone who is fully vaccinated can ditch the mask in most scenarios, prompting corresponding changes all over the country. However, Michigan health and safety officials are still recommending masks in some indoor spaces, even if people are vaccinated. That includes schools, hospitals, and airplanes. Businesses are most concerned about a state rule that requires remote work wherever possible. Whitmer pledged the state will roll back that rule Monday, but a lack of additional details on the workplace regulations has some owners frustrated and confused. Whitmer preached patience as everyone adapts to the changes, and again encouraged everyone to get vaccinated. The state's COVID-19 trends are headed in the right direction, but overall, the state remains one of the worst COVID-19 hotspots in the country.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Keith Matheny. A year has passed since the failure of the Edenville and Sanford dams, which caused devastating flooding in Midland and Gladwin counties. Much of the damage has now been repaired, but the impoundment lakes behind those dams, Wixom and Sanford lakes, remain drained, fields of eroding mud, dirt, and weeds. At Stryker's Lakeside Marina in Beaverton, along what used to be Wixom Lake, a week before Memorial Day weekend would normally be bustling with activity, but was eerily quiet Tuesday. A $215 million plan to restore the dams and lakes could require property owners to pay annual assessments up to $2,000, even more if the federal and state governments won't help. Some area residents, retirees on fixed incomes, said paying those kinds of costs would be difficult, even impossible, for them. One person who won't be paying much toward the restoration is Lee Mueller, the former private owner of the failed dams. His Boyce Hydropower Company for years failed to heed regulators' warnings that the Edenville Dam was unsafe. Now he's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, leaving little for the thousands of people with disrupted lives and uncertain futures from the flood.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Eric D. Lawrence. The number of pedestrians dying in crashes has been a story for years, but 2020 brought a grim new milestone. The pedestrian death rate increased by 21% over the 2019 rate, according to the Governor's Highway Safety Association. That marks the highest yearly increase in 45 years, and the increase, from 1.9 to 2.3 per billion vehicle miles traveled, happened despite the COVID-19 pandemic, when Americans were driving fewer miles as a result of lockdowns and restrictions. Using information from state highway safety offices, the association found that 6,721 pedestrians, that's men, women, and children, were killed in vehicle crashes in 2020. The reason for the fatal crashes vary. Speeding, distraction, drunk or drug driving receive some of the blame from the association. More trucks and SUVs are also on the roads. Pedestrians are more likely to die when struck by one of those vehicles than by a car. More pedestrians are killed in crashes at night and away from intersections, and people of color are killed in disproportionate numbers. Vehicle safety technology to detect pedestrians and street design that accounts for all road users, not just those behind the wheel, are some of the ways to address the problem, experts say.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department with an update from the Lions. An otherwise nondescript session with the media for the defensive assistant coaches confirmed something interesting. On Thursday, defensive line coach Todd Walsh shared with reporters that linemen Trey Flowers and Romeo Okwara will be playing a lot of linebacker in the new 3-4 defense. This is all done in an effort to get more pressure on the quarterback, something the Matt Patricia-led defenses struggled to do. Walsh here gives a little more insight for the move.
He's got a great skill set for what we're trying to do. Every one of our players that we have on our defensive roster have a skill set, and it's going to be our job, obviously, as coaches to put them in that position to be successful. And I think Trey has that skill set as a defensive end in base and also in sub.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.